Okay, what?
Can I shut that?
I don't care.
Okay.
Yep. Hey, Norcal Karters. It is Monday, March 18th, and tonight we have Dr. David Jones back with us, and we will give you an update on the fitness challenge we kicked off in January. Plus, we have a new program we're going to roll out for our listeners. But Ashely and I will have a couple of housekeeping items first. So, again, tonight we have the special edition of the Norcal Motorsports Fitness Challenge, and this past weekend, we had a couple races. We had CCKRA Central California Kart Racing Association. I know nothing about it, so that's why we have Ashely. She's going to fill us in on a couple of quick details from that event. I was at the Prairie City event, or All-Star Karting. They go by both names. It's the promotions is All-Star Karting. The track is Prairie City at the SVRA. So last second, I was called up to do some announcing. And so that was fun. 120 plus entries at Prairie City. So I don't know. It's kind of funny. You start seeing some other teams start showing up to the tracks that are doing well, and all of a sudden they come out of the woodwork, and it's kind of funny. And I'm going to do a little soapbox thing. Ashely's going to get mad. It's going to be very quick because we really want to get to David Jones. all the other upcoming events. Next week's show will be upcoming events for April. We will do that. But you can go to Norcal Karters, click on events, and all of our sponsors and clubs that have supported Norcal Karters are on the calendar. Their events are coming up. So there's a couple of races coming up next weekend. We have some Rock Sonoma stuff, which we're live streaming at. And we have Challenge of the Americas coming up in a couple of weeks. Ashely goes to those events. So there's a lot going on. But while we're kicking off the show, again, I have a soapbox item. But also Norcal Karters, Extra Kart Parts, all the clubs, we are looking for help. I've said it before. We are looking for help. So shops need mechanics. Teams need mechanics. Jason Berry, Extra Kart Parts, I need help. All the tracks need track workers, whether it's flagmen, marshals, pit people. They need help with admin, office. So if you don't want to go out in the sun and watch the racing close up, maybe you're more of a keyboard warrior, admin and office work. So reach out to myself, norcalkarters@gmail.com, or to Ashely, and we will plug you in with the shops, the teams, the organizations that are looking for help. For Extra Kart Parts specifically, basically what we'll do is I'm going to run you through the ringer. I'm going to give you the crappiest jobs you'll ever find in karting. And if you can make it through that and you're pretty capable mechanic, I will refer you to my friends that have teams. If you want to travel with the teams, again, they're looking for good, reliable mechanics. So there's always work. So yeah. And Gary Carlton, just spoke to him like 30 minutes ago. He is in need of a full-time mechanic and shop labor as of now. So if you call Gary and say, hey, I heard your post on Norcal Karters, just tell Gary, hey, Jason Berry was running his mouth and he said you needed help. So, and this isn't my soapbox thing, but again, help wanted, Norcal Karters, Extra Kart Parts, all the tracks in the area. Ashely could probably fill you in on one or two of the tracks recently that posted they were looking for help. Because she's really tied into that side of the karting industry. But without further ado, we're going to get to David. But my 30-second soapbox. So this one kind of bothered me a little bit. I was at Prairie City. There's a gentleman out there trying to get the live stream stuff set up. And I heard from a number of people that it wasn't good. It was slow. It was lagging. This gentleman knows all of this. Right? And people are just bombarding him with negativity on what's bad about the live stream. There's a reason Kart Chaser isn't coming to our local tracks. We're not sending them a big check. And we can all agree Kart Chaser is doing the best job in karting right now as far as when it comes to video, promoting the sport at the national level, etc. They're killing it. However, with that, Xander has thousands of hours of research and development, thousands of dollars in equipment. So use him as the pinnacle, right? And you work your way down from there. So when there's a local guy just trying to promote the sport because he loves it, don't shit on him. Maybe ask him, hey, how can I help? Where are your hangups? Why doesn't Norcal Karting do more live stream? It's two things. My weekends are not very available. I'm a family guy. My daughter swims. That's her passion. I have 1 to 2 weekends a month I'm willing to work in karting. I'll work Monday through Friday in karting. That's my job. But on the weekends, I work for my family. So bottom line. But it's equipment. It's money. It's time to figure all that stuff out. And when there's no financial support coming in, there's no motivation to go promote your business or your track. So yeah, that's bottom line. I'm off my soapbox. But don't crap on the guys that are trying to get karting on TV or YouTube, etc. Just ask it, how can you help? So with that being said, Ashely's kicking me out. I'm off my soapbox.
What's up, NorCal? It's the Norcal Karters Chick. It is Monday, March 18th. Yes, lots of stuff going on over the weekend. CCKRA was in Button Willow, and the weather was so nice. A little bit lost my voice. I do trophy presentations now, which I sort of forgot about. So that was fun, getting to be on the mic and doing that. So sorry if my voice is going out. But yeah, it was a good weekend. We had, I think the last time that I counted was 70. I believe 75, I want to say. Something around there. Because SCUSA's going next weekend too. So we had a lot of people practicing for SCUSA. We had a lot of new families traveling from out of state or from down south joining us for the first time. So we're happy to welcome them. And very exciting to see some of the younger kids move up from kid kart to pilot or from pilot to junior one. So we're looking forward to working with everyone this year. We kind of want to make it a learning experience too, kind of doing a little teaching with these pilot drivers and stuff like that. So yeah. What else was I going to say? Oh, there was 117 at Prairie City. 117. So also glad and excited about that, because although Donald and I had races on the same weekend, Donald and I are still on the same team. So when we both do well, everything's all good in NorCal. Like Jason was saying, next week is going to be the upcoming events show. So I'm reaching out to all the clubs, asking them if they have any news or updates they want to for us to talk about on the show. So getting lots of stuff for that. And I want to mention Challenge of the Americas. So do not wait to register. I'm hearing that the hotels are already getting booked up. If you are not racing, come and be a spectator. Watch this show. I'm telling you guys, it's some of the best racing. All these guys are national level competitors. Like, this isn't going to be your normal local regional race or anything like that. So check the class list. If you race any of those classes, you should be signed up. If you don't race, you should come to watch. Okay. I am so ready for all of my NorCal drivers to show the national guys what we can do here and how good the competition is here, especially at Sonoma. So come on, guys, register, and I hope to see you there. If you're lucky enough to see me in tech, I'll be very excited. And yes, we are going to get into David Jones and the fitness challenge and how Jason and I did. And put it in the comments, who do you think did better, Jason or Ashely? We could take a vote. Who do you think did better, Jason or Ashely? So NorCal Fitness Challenge, it was eating, portion sizes, working out, and what was the other one? Movement, sleep, movement. David will give us a review, but put it in the comments. Who do you think did better, Jason or Ashely? Put it in the comments. We know you're here. So let's bring up David Jones. Welcome, David Jones. Right in the comments. Oh, I'm very popular in the comments. Put it in the comments. Who do you think did better in the Norcal Karters Fitness Challenge, Jason or Ashely?
It doesn't help someone caught me on camera with a hot link in my hand and a Coke.
It's all right. Andy in Tucson called me out one time because of something that I ate. And he's like, I thought you were supposed to be all heart healthy. And I was like, your food trucks don't have salads, okay? So we just get the good greasy stuff when we're at challenge. But yes, put it in the comments. Who do you think did better, Jason or Ashely? Jason or Ashely? Norcal Karters Fitness Challenge.
And before we let David do his introduction, so we're trying something new. David's streaming to his Instagram profile. So we don't have direct access to comments. So if you're on Instagram, either on Norcal Karters Instagram or David Jones Instagram, do me a quick favor. Come over to YouTube or Facebook real quick and just put, for David Jones, just put DJ IG or put NK for Norcal Karters IG, just so we know you're getting the streams. So I'm showing we're live on both of them on my end. So without further ado, Dr. David Jones.
Thanks for having me on, Jason, Ashely. So tonight, what we wanted to focus on is going over questions from the last show. Ashely requested that we talk about nutrition, especially on race day. We had talked last time about getting into neck training, so I'm going to go over just how that should look in the typical protocol that I've had success with. Some Q&A, and then, of course, the NorCal Fit Challenge that we're going to be putting out pretty soon. So let's go over the questions from the last show. We have from Philip Sturmer. He wanted to make it to the end of a race without breathing fast. So I'm assuming he's getting short of breath. And the first thing I have to say is paying attention to your breathing pattern. A lot of guys have a tendency to hold their breath for extended periods of time because when you're racing, it's intense. And when it's intense, you stove up a little bit, start holding your breath, and you're pushing yourself closer into getting into the lactate threshold because you're not giving yourself oxygen. We'll go over what the lactate threshold is in a second, but my first advice is to start paying attention to your breathing pattern next time you're on track and focus on relaxing and breathing whenever you can, especially on those straightaways. Get good deep breaths in. And when you're going to have to enter a corner, okay, you're maybe not going to be breathing, but every chance you get, make sure you're getting the oxygen in. Second,
in through the nose, out through the mouth, or
if you can, yeah, that's the best way to go about it. Plus, that has the effect of relaxing your nervous system, so it keeps you more calm, which is good. Then you'll want to start training how you're going to play. So off the track, you need to take your cardio health status more seriously. So that means you're going to start adding some steady state cardio. That's going to give you that basis of cardio health so that you're efficient in making energy with your metabolism. And then you want to implement some HIIT style workouts, whether that's interval cardio or HIIT weight training, where you're doing a mixture of weightlifting, maybe it doesn't have to be burpees, but exercises that are more intense, followed by a shorter rest break. What that's doing is we talked about the lactate threshold. So think of that as the point when you're doing like physical work. Karting is physical work. Think of the lactate threshold at the point that you get, and you just can't keep going without fatiguing and being forced to slow down. So what's happening is your body cannot clear the lactate and all the waste products that are getting produced by the aerobic metabolism. So that's the one, think endurance. You're using oxygen to create that energy. So when you hit that point, you're going to start dipping into the anaerobic production of energy. So now you're making energy without oxygen. And once you're at that point, you're not going to be able to maintain that intensity for very long. Just like a sprinter on a track, they can't sprint they could more than 10 seconds, but they can't maintain that intensity for very long because they're in that anaerobic system to produce quick energy. So if you're dipping into that, you're going to slow down pretty soon. You're going to fatigue, and that's the end of that. So when you're exercising and you're pushing into these intensities, you're helping your body get more efficient at clearing those waste products, including lactate, so that you can stay in that aerobic zone for longer and therefore maintain a higher intensity for longer. So in short, start training how you play. Then Let's see. We have from Walter. One exercise.
Walter.
Yeah. One exercise that he should start doing on a regular basis at 50 years old to help him stay in shape for karting. So this is actually one of the harder questions because I don't know Walter's current routine. And there's a lot of exercise that I would want to suggest. But since we're adding a single exercise, I'm going to go with a full body one, such as a squat to row. So with the squat to row, you're getting the hips, the posterior chain, and the upper back. So those are all important areas for postural maintenance and just overall core strength. Plus, you can make the exercise intense and include it in any circuit that you're doing for conditioning. So just an overall great choice of an exercise. If you had questions about specific body parts or problem areas, then I can make recommendations based on that.
So sorry, I'm going to interject a little bit too. So what Jason and I actually were talking about when we started this challenge was like, David was saying all these words, all these scary words, cardio, hit, and
No
all
drinking.
these things. And I was like, oh man, this is sounding kind of serious. So we did end up deciding on things that worked best for Jason and I in our own programs. And my cardio wasn't necessarily the same as Jason's. I don't know Jason's program, but my cardio is essentially movement, meaning I'm walking more during the week. During the week, I don't walk as much as I do on the weekends because I'm at the track and I'm going from scales to tech to grid to scoring. So I think I kind of have a little bit of an upper hand there than being stuck in the scoring tower or being the announcer. So there's that. And also in this experience too, I found that a lot of like actual stretching and just stretching movement, Pilates, stuff like that actually made me sleep better. So I was sleeping better. And again, we posted the clip about Dr. Jones talking about going to sleep at the same time every night and then waking up at the same time every day. That was one of my goals. And I had to work really hard on it because, as some of you guys know, I'm always reading about what's going on in karting. I'm always commenting, posting, talking about stuff. So for me, it was like, okay, no more phone. We're going to go to bed, get some rest. And I'm telling you guys, I actually did, with the stretches and the rest, I actually did feel a lot better. So don't necessarily get scared when you hear things like cardio or you have to start working out or you have to do things like that, because there are different ways to work out that don't involve the running and the push-ups and the burpees and the scary stuff that I called it. So
No, that's a good point. I mean, like, no matter what your fitness level is, like, and your previous experience, like I make it sound scary sometimes, but wherever your starting point is, you start from there and work up. And I think some of that comes from my physical therapy background. Like your common trainer, in his head is like the only thing there is burpees, bench press, and squats. And there is more to exercise than that. And that's a good point you make, Ashely.
Jason, how was your experience with cardio?
It sucked. I made the mistake of telling my wife I was doing this.
Yeah.
She got a hold of David's equipment list, which, I should probably rephrase that. I think at all costs, shipped to my door was less than $150. So I was for the bands, the balls, I'm pretty sure it was less than $150. I don't know. My wife bought it all because she saw the email from David. And like 2 days later, it was here. It's like, oh shit. Honestly, for me, the hardest part was the app. And I'm not gonna like overstate how it's not like I killed the challenge, so I'll be real there. I really struggled with the app though. I'm not an app guy. I'm not a new technology guy. I like that stuff. I really appreciate it. But to me, it was just another thing to add into my routine. And David can attest to this. It took me a while. So I looked at the app. It's like, okay, what's the hardest part? The workouts. You click on the link. You record your time. If you don't know how to do the workout, like some of the stretches that we were given, like, squirting pigeon dog or whatever. I don't know what they were, but there was like a pigeon pose or something. I've never even heard of it. I've never done it. So the app had a video. This is how you do this stretch. This is how you do the workout. That stuff I really enjoyed. For me, it was the food portion of the app because I don't cook from a box. I don't cook from recipes. I go to the store. I usually cook, I think, pretty healthy, but I usually just walk around the perimeter. I go to the proteins first. I see what's on sale. Then I go to vegetables. I don't do too much of a lot of crappy carbs. But I don't have all the calories and everything right there on a box because I don't cook out of a box. So once I figured out the app and the food portion, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I ate a little bit less than I should have today, or I ate way too much. So that was an eye opener for the calorie counter. It's like, oh, there was a couple meals I had that blew my calories at lunch. And it's like, okay. And I don't eat out like that every day, but it stuck in there.
Well, and we haven't gone to food yet, but I know it is going to come up. So when we started, I was like, oh yeah, I eat healthy. Like I eat salads, David, I'm good, And then he was like, okay, but now we're going to measure out how much you're eating.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And that's when I realized that things add up and things, that the dressings and the toppings and the things that you put on your sandwich and things that yes, and you're just kind of like, oh, it's just a sandwich, or oh, it's just a salad, but it's drowning in dressing, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm being healthy, So, and Jason's over here eating nachos and stuff.
Oh, dude, I don't usually like rave about track food, but whoever they had out there at Prairie City this weekend, I had the nachos on Saturday, and once I saw there was chicken on it, it's like, it's gonna be dry, whatever. No, that guy that did the concession stand, it was the canned nacho cheese, so I'm sure there was 5 million calories in that. But the chicken he had on there was so moist and so flavorful. It's like my daughter and I inhaled the nachos. Like I probably would have went back for more if I wasn't planning on taking her out to dinner.
Those are our friends. Really good. Those are our friends. Something Vicious. Thank you.
Is that okay? That is their real name.
Yes.
Something Vicious.
Yes.
Okay.
Something Vicious.
Yeah.
They were also the ones that catered the banquet. But let's get back on track. We love you, Something Vicious, but we're talking about portion control.
We are. No, it was very, very good. Not just track food, but just very, very good in general. So I gave him a bunch of shout outs because the other thing too, yeah, as an announcer, it's like we forget about the photographers and the video guys and the track workers and the concession people. If they don't sell enough, then they don't come back. So
yeah,
I got the invoice for them. I know how many you are.
The invoice, but
I haven't invoiced you yet.
So Josh has a question though. So he actually tried it with me, the portion stuff, but he was ending up getting hungry later on. Whereas I was like, oh, okay, I can just power through this, like doing it for NorCal, right? But Josh was just like, no, like I'm not doing it for NorCal. I I want a burrito, and I'm just like, oh, it's so hard to just be like, okay, yeah, I'm full, I'm not hungry anymore. So what would you, I guess we're going to segue into food, but what would you recommend for
So for Josh,
something like that?
he likely weighs more than you. He's bigger than you. He would need more calories. So for him, like if he's getting hungry, he's likely needing more protein, more fat, just because that's going to keep you more satiated during the day and especially at night. So that's actually a good point, especially with cravings. If you have a tendency to get cravings, there's something, just a protein test. So let's say you're getting a craving, like you're hangry, whatever it is. If you're getting like that and you're thinking, okay, I want some candy, I want whatever junk food it is, ask yourself, would you eat like a plain piece of chicken breast? If the answer is yes, you're actually hungry and you need to eat something like that. Oh, he likes the rice cakes and peanut butter.
Yeah,
Ugh.
David got him on rice cake.
Ugh,
I'm
how
not
Good.
I haven't ventured that far. I've tried some of the other stuff you put on the list,
Yes.
but I haven't gotten to rice cakes.
Yeah, the rice cakes.
I do like they're like popcorners or something like that.
Okay.
They're kind of like rice cakes, so that's as far as I've gotten. But
Gotcha.
I
Yeah, no.
I have been trying to make, like you were saying too, better choices in the, okay, I want candy, but do I want candy because I'm hungry, or do I want candy because
You want candy.
I want candy?
Yeah, so that protein test is a good one. And for
Yeah.
Josh, if he's getting that hangry, he needs at least one extra portion of protein in his daily allotment. So that's
so
what
he
I would
needs to eat more.
Yeah, he needs to eat a bit more. You just want to get the right kind of calories, the ones that are going to tell your body that you're full and you're not going to get cravings from it. That is one issue with, once you give into a craving, well, everybody knows you can't just eat one chip. And when you're eating a simple carb like that, that gives a dopamine response in your brain. So it's like, oh, it's like a reward, and you want more of it, especially when that blood sugar comes back down from eating it. So that's why you want to avoid the cravings, just because they lead to more later.
I do have a fun trick though for chips.
Oh, let's hear this.
I
One.
love cooking shows, and it was like Mind of a Chef or Chef's Table, one of those cooking shows, and they were talking about potato chips. And the chefs, and somebody said, well, how come when you do servings, you only do like a little thimble size serving and it's $100? And the chef said, well, think about it when you eat potato chips. It's like, if you have more than 3, does the 4th one taste better than the first one? And they go, the answer is no. It's like your palate only wants like 3 bites of something. And then by that, then it's like, okay, now it's gone.
Now you're just tossing it back.
So yeah, now every time I like have a Lay's or something, it's like, oh, I only need 3 if I'm eating it for flavor. But
you know what? I'm going to make that recommendation. That's not a bad one, Jason. It's a good idea.
Look up it was either Chef's Table or one of those, but it was about 3 bite-sized portions and why they do it so small.
As long as you don't still have the bag of chips in front of you once you finish the 3rd one.
No, I got some news out here. We'll get back to Donald in a second. I saw Jason eat a whole box of Girl Scout cookies while announcing.
Dang, people are digging on you, dude.
Man,
hey,
I have lots of eyes out there.
Right? You see my boy Andy's not over here in the comments talking about my chili cheese fries, right? All of the Prairie City people.
Yeah.
Real question, is it good to go to bed a little hungry? I'd say it depends. Like if it's making you wake up and you're just like constantly hungry and you can't sleep, I would say no. Personally, I like to make sure I'm kind of full at bedtime and I'm just eating the right stuff before I go to bed, or not right before I go to bed, but in my last meal of the day. So it really depends on you. At the end of the day, as far as like weight management, it is calories in, calories out. Now you can get deeper into, the macronutrients and what it consists of, but it's not good or bad. It just depends on you. Are you having trouble sleeping because you're hungry? See if he answers that.
Yeah. And then while we're waiting for Donald, are you having trouble sleeping because you're hungry? Let us know in the comments. But another question I kind of wanted to discuss too is, so we all are at the track. We have a long day on Saturday, and then say we're like, okay, now it's dinner time. Now it's dinner time. So then we all go to the steakhouses, right? And we all have, our ribeyes and our mashed potatoes and our salads and all that, and our, pint-sized beverages.
Yep.
So would you recommend doing that on a race weekend where we're like where you're supposed to be trying to be in it? Or kind of walk us through, like, should we be eating at the steakhouse on practice day? Should we keep it till the winner steak dinner? Let's discuss.
So honestly, a steakhouse isn't inherently bad. Like a good cut of steak, vegetables, and some potatoes isn't bad, but like, I don't recommend a whole lot of drinking the night before competition, obviously, but if you had one, it's not going to kill you. But overall, it's like you have to, kind of like we were talking earlier about condiments. Like, and this is something I like doing. If I go to a steakhouse and I give in to my temptations, I'm going to, well, Team Vicelli can attest to this. I can eat. So
that's going to be Outback, isn't it?
It depends where we're at, but yeah, we'll hit a steakhouse. And if I give into my temptation, I'm going to get like some giant 1-pound burger and fries and stuff like that, because that's what I like. And I'm going to.
Are you guys the milkshake guys?
No milkshake.
There was like a group of people that went and they all had milk. Okay, maybe I'm thinking about somebody else. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Steakhouse, you can totally keep it fine for competition by getting a good cut of steak. A ribeye is fine. It has fats in it. It's good. Get the sides are what's important. So getting veggies, you can get mashed potatoes. You don't want to douse them with a bunch of toppings so that you don't jack your calories super high. But you can totally eat like that. The big celebration stuff I would reserve for the last day. That's probably the best advice. But hard to do once you're in the situation. So before you go, like, look at the menu. Now, this is before you're smelling all the good food. You're not in that environment. Choose what you're going to have before you even show up. So, and then just stick with that choice, at least if it's on a competition day. It's hard. It's hard.
So let's kind of go into stuff we should be eating at the track.
Sure.
David in the comments noted, don't break your diet at PC. But we love you, Something Vicious, and your nachos are delicious. So let's talk about race day. What should we be eating on race day? I know a lot of people, they either don't eat breakfast because
it's not a question about fasting earlier too.
Yeah. Or they, they don't eat lunch because they're in the middle. Like, I personally sometimes am working through lunch.
Yep.
So for me, it's like, what should I be eating during the day? What should I be bringing to the track? What is something that I could do to kind of help give myself energy throughout the day, but still in the fast-paced environment of race day?
So we'll start with what you should be doing the days leading up to it. Well, we can get into that later. At the track, though, typically you want to be able to have foods that are kind of grab and go and you can be quick with. But we're going to what we want to consider is some concepts about your choices. So number one, we want to consider digestibility. So especially for drivers, and track workers too, anybody that's up and going, you want to choose stuff that's going to be easy to digest, and it's not going to make you all bloated. Like, this is a mistake I've made in the past. Like, at lunchtime on the track day, I make a patty melt, and I use a really fatty meat instead of a lean one. And when I get on track, every time I turn a corner and load the side of the seat, I'm like, oh, I want to throw up. That's not what you should be doing. So, I mean, I'm not trying to put it out there that I'm perfect either. It's just, we all like to enjoy our food. So digestibility, that's important. Getting a balance of macronutrients, so carbs, protein, and healthy fats. For your main meals, go with more complex carbs. So that's going to be like sweet potatoes or whole grains. Those don't jack your blood sugar too high, and higher blood, when your blood sugar spikes a lot, you have energy up and down, and you want to avoid those crashes. So when you have a complex carb at the main meal, it keeps the blood sugar relatively stable. And even if you do eat something simple like a sugar later, it's not going to cause such a fluctuation because you have those slower digesting carbs in your system already. For protein sources on a race day, try to go with leaner stuff like chicken, turkey, things like that. They don't take so much energy to digest. Now, days leading up to competition, or even the evening of, if you want to have fattier meats like that ribeye, it's fine because you have time to digest it for the next day. We want to get healthy fats, whether that's from avocados, nuts, and seeds. I like nutrient-dense snacks on a race day just because, you don't have much time to be eating a full meal. So stuff like nuts, even protein bars, they're dense. They're smaller, but they have a lot of calories. So they're good to be eating during a day. Of course, you want to watch how much you're eating, but if you have the tendency that you're not eating at all, then you shouldn't have a problem not over consuming those. Of course, you want to be drinking plenty of fluid through the day, especially on hot days. So now let's get into the snacks that I like. So these are simple, quick. Greek yogurt and fruit. That's easy. You mix it up. You can use something like stevia on occasion to sweeten it a bit if you got a sweet tooth. Mixed nuts, sliced apples with almond butter, protein bars. We talked about the rice cakes and peanut butter. Those are great. Cottage cheese and fruit, hard-boiled eggs, trail mix, protein shakes if that's your thing. So those are some good options that are just grab and go quick, and my personal favorites. So I especially like the hard-boiled eggs. Just it's quick, easy protein and fat, and I go with that very often, especially earlier in the day. Then
I may have spoke too soon about the challenge crew telling on me about my chili cheese fries. Angel, don't spill my order, Angel. Classified information.
Real quick, there was, we haven't gone over fasting yet, right?
No, let's talk about fasting. So it depends on your goals. Fasting is really helpful in people that are having trouble with managing blood sugar. So if somebody's having blood sugar issues, every time they eat, especially any carbs, their blood sugar is going to spike. So what fasting does is it helps your body.
No, not me. Sorry, go ahead. I'm reading the comments.
It helps your body learn how to use fat for fuel, because a lot of us are so dependent on carbs to keep our blood sugar up and to give us energy, that we end up becoming diabetic, and we're not efficient at burning fat for fuel. And that's part of the problem with our metabolism that keeps us from losing weight. So with fasting, you're teaching your body how to use that fat for fuel. So there's guys that'll go up to 48 hours. I'm not recommending that. Like, you can if you really want to work your way up to that, but it's not my go-to. typically the 16-8 fasting system is the easiest to adopt. All you do is skip breakfast. Your first meal of the day is lunch, and you eat until 8 p.m. and you're spending 16 hours in fasted mode. And I think it's great for just improving your metabolism and what they call autophagy. So, you know, our body makes a lot of waste products and damaged cells, especially. So when you're fasting, you're actually using some of those damaged cells and it's processing those. It's going to help with inflammation and a host of other things. So I think fasting is good in the right situation. I think on race day, it's not my go-to because especially as a new thing. So for somebody that's eating regular meals and then all of a sudden on race day, they're skipping breakfast and lunch, I don't think that's a wise choice because, I mean, your body's used to having food to fuel it. And all of a sudden you're taking away that fuel and it's just like, you're going to go through a slump. So when you start fasting, you're going to notice your energy levels aren't as good until you get used to it because your body's not efficient in burning fat for fuel.
So we have a question from Brian Go. When fasting, are you still drinking water?
Personally, yes. Keep drinking water. You want to have plenty of hydration through the day. There are people that do dry fasting, which is fine. But if you're new to the idea, keep drinking water for sure. Don't go into dry fasting immediately.
Cool. Actually, there's one question that came in towards the beginning of the show from Matthew Cravenhill. He just said, where at? And I missed that comment at the beginning of the show. So Matthew, if you can comment or readdress your question, so we can answer that for you.
Where at?
We have some votes though. Who do you think won, or who do you think did better in the Norcal Karters Fitness Challenge? Put it in the comments.
I don't think I got a single vote.
Who do you think did better?
Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I got a single vote.
No votes, Jason.
No votes.
It sounds like your audience knows you really well or something.
They're probably on my personal Facebook page, and every other post is either stupid or about food or a stupid food post.
I got to hand one thing to you, Jason. Like, you know, you did a very good job at logging your food, and you do honestly make a lot of healthy choices, like regularly. You did. Obviously, your audience is kind of telling on you, but
oh yeah.
But still,
no. In general, I eat pretty healthy, but my weakness is when jujubes go on sale. I just have a craving for having my teeth fillings ripped out by a piece of taffy. So I like jujubes. Like before noon, I hardly eat any sugar before noon.
So what's actually funny too, everybody that's voting for me, so we use this app for the Norcal Karters Fitness Challenge. And again, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but it's funny because Jason had a different kind of problem than I had. And his part that he was struggling with was the workouts. And the part that I was struggling with was the food logging. Because I also didn't know we were supposed to be doing that. But so for me, it was easier to be truthful to all of my votes. My food log was not as good or accurate as Jason's, but my workout log had more check marks than Jason. So that'll be another clue. Put it in the comments. Who do you think did better? Jason had a better food log, but Ashely had a better fitness log. Put it in the comments. Who do you think did better? Let's go back to a question. Did Matt ever comment back?
No.
Jordy is referring to.
Okay.
No, it's just earlier in the show he had asked where at.
Okay. But so what are some other things we could do? I guess, well, we talked about preparing. We talked about during the day. We talked about
I thought we could talk about lunch, and then I
Oh.
actually have a sample 3-day meal plan. Well, it's not a full meal plan, but because it's not portioned for a particular person, but it's an example of what they could do from prep day, meaning the day before any practice, all the way through race day. So if somebody wants that, I can email that to them.
Yeah. So we have a
real quickly,
sample.
David, drop your IG handle.
Doctor, so dr.davy.jones. If you need anything, you can contact me there.
Dr. Davy.
Yep, drdavy.jones.
Jones on IG.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your preferred.
Yeah, that's the best method to contact me at this point.
Yeah. And then we are going to do another Norcal Karters challenge. We're going to open this up to everybody. In a few moments, David's going to jump into that and the details. For me, it's just prioritizing it. The food was so easy. The logging was hard because I'm not used to logging the apps, but the actual food portion was pretty easy. For me, it's just prioritizing everything. I am so scatterbrained. You can ask Ashely. She'll go, okay, we need 25 minutes for a meeting. And I read that as, okay, you have 2.5 minutes. And even if I spend a bunch of time wasting it doing something unproductive, in my brain, I have a hard time putting new tasks in those spots. And I'm working on getting much better at that. But that was the hardest thing I had. It's like, okay, where do I carve out 30 minutes of my day for whatever activity it might be? And a big help was my wife. She's like, we're walking. Like, we are walking now. It's like, no, I'm not walking right now because I just finished dinner, but we can go in 30 minutes. Like, I'm not going right after dinner. So I had her, dragging me out of the house. And then she started getting on the app and doing the workouts. And it's like, okay. So once I got to a point where it's like, okay, I need to prioritize. And last 2 months have sucked for me on apps. I was killing Duolingo.
I kind of feel the same way that you're saying too. So, I mean, everybody knows Jason and I are busy, right? And so for me, it was like, how am I going to find the time? So it was like, do I do it in the morning when my kid is at school? Do I do it in the evening? And then some days I would be like, okay, I'm not going to do it I'm not going to work out in the morning. I'll work out after dinner, or I'll work out at this time. And then I end up getting busier, and I'm literally on Zoom meetings like maybe 2 or 3 nights a week. So it was just kind of like, oh, I'll do it later. And having, Dr. Jones and the little bit of competition created between Jason and I in the Norcal Karters headquarters.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Ashely and I had a challenge. It was a 4-week challenge as we were getting used to the app, and it was just on the back end. It was just between the two of us. And then David and I were talking about, I was like, no, we need to open this up to everybody, because I think there's a lot of people that
we were the guinea pigs.
Yeah, exactly. And
now,
I think a lot of people like that pressure and that accountability. It's like, no, it's like, okay.
There were days where I was texting David, like, how come Jason's ahead of me?
Yeah.
And he's like, because he logged this. And I was all, put another workout on my thing because I need to catch up. And then I would catch up, and then it was like, okay, I was cool. And then he would get closer, and I'm all, okay, we're moving to 3 times a week.
I remember when we were first talking, you initially wanted to start with this twice a week, and that competition helped you bump up to the appropriate 3 days a week. And that's something I wanted to mention with the challenge, the next one we're doing. We've kind of learned from some of the drawbacks of how it was, and we're going to make it so everybody has an exact equal amount of opportunity to.
And Jason's going to film videos.
Exactly.
I can't wait.
You can't wait?
I can't wait. But yes, So we're excited. We tested this out for everybody, and now we're opening it up to everyone. Dr. Jones kind of knows what scatterbrain karting people need. So we're excited about this. We do have a question. Oh, from Angel. Hey.
Awesome.
So he wants to be in Grandmasters 215. I need to get down to 185. What would we
get signed up
for him?
Yeah, get signed up, man, and start making the changes in your lifestyle. That's the big thing. That's like with this next challenge. We're sorry, Jason, we're not going to be including tracking the food as one of the major point bringers. So we're going to be using that more as like, did you get results in the end? So,
yeah.
But we'll get into that a little bit.
Well,
yeah.
I did like how you and I had conversations, and you and Ashely had conversations. And to make it clear to everybody, even though we had this challenge, David did a good job. I didn't know what Ashley's program was unless I asked Ashely. So he had different programs for the two of us, even though we were in the same challenge. Mm-hmm. And he didn't cross-share the information. He kept all of that very private, which for me, I don't care. I mean, I post everything on Facebook anyway. But I did find that that was a nice touch to it, where it's like, okay, just it is separated, it is private, and we were able to make a couple adjustments to my stuff, and no, it was interesting. So we have different types of people all in the same challenge, because David went through the questionnaire to say, okay, what are you looking for? I wanted endurance and mobility. That's what I was looking for, because I'm at a computer a lot. My shoulder locks up just because I type too much, which is stupid. So he put together activities that were focusing on stretching, mobility, and just endurance.
Yeah. And mine was,
during this challenge, I'm not telling you what I'm going to start in a week.
And my program was about lifestyle changes, eating out less, portion control, and actually working out or moving. Because again, like I was saying, Monday through Friday, I'm either at a computer or drawing on an iPad or something like that. So a lot of the workouts that I had were stretching and like your back stretches and leg stretches and stuff for people who sit a lot or stuff like that. So I liked how it was tailored towards obviously my own program, but we were in the same challenge, and Jason and I would just be like, oh, how are you doing on this? Oh, how are you doing on this? And at one point I even noticed too, when Jason did his unboxing, he got a different ball thing than I did. So my exercise plan was different than Jason's in general. So don't think that you're all going to be, we're just going to put a list and we're all going to be doing the same thing. No, we're all going to be working with Dr. Jones on our own goals and figuring out how to get cart fit. So
cart fit or pit fit?
Cart pit.
For the mechanics out there. Do you want me to bring up that document you sent us, David, or is that in the background?
Yeah, we can talk about that. You can bring
bring it on the screen?
Yeah, that should be fine.
That should be fine. Yeah. Let's see here.
If anybody has any questions, put them in the comments. We'll take some questions maybe. And then again, put in your votes. Who do you think did better, Jason or Ashely, in the preliminary Norcal Karters Fitness Challenge? Do it for Norcal. Can you zoom in on that or no?
Yeah. Just I'm slow at that stuff.
Put it in the comments. Who do you think did better in the first fitness challenge? And any questions you have for Dr. Jones.
All right, David, where do you want to start? Choose your path.
Yeah. So basically, we're opening this up to anybody that, especially beginners, that they don't know where to start. A lot of people just don't know what they need to be doing, and the goal is to provide. It's like, okay, here's what you need to do, and you'll have a daily checkoff list of the things you need to work on that week. It's going to change from week to week, especially with the habits. So there's two routes you can take, whether you're mechanic, cart dad or mom, or driver. You can do the home workout option. So with that, there is some equipment that you'll need to purchase, but like Jason mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to get super expensive. You can keep it on a budget. So I provide different options of what you can get to get this done. Otherwise, you'll need to have a gym membership so that you can have an access to everything that you'll need. And that program will look significantly different from the home workout plan. Both will get results. They're just going to be a little different.
And then just so people know, I told David right up front when we were testing out the first challenge, I go, I'm not signing up for a gym. I just wasn't going to do it. So he was able to go through and figure out the equipment that we would need based on what I was trying to do.
Yeah, best bang for the buck, number one. And number two, the gym just isn't going to work for everybody, especially people living in busy areas. Like some gyms are just so crowded. Like somebody new to exercise is just like, I don't want to go there. I'd rather, start at home. The only problem at home is, Jason can attest to this, when you're at home, there's a lot of things to distract you and you have to prioritize. So each day you sign into the app, you look at what you need to be doing and prioritize those things.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, I do everything from home, except for the weekend work at the track. I work from home. My business is based from home. I joke that I'm a stay-at-home dad, even though my daughter's 12 years old and in school. But that's my joke at the coffee shop. I'm a stay-at-home dad with no kids. So yeah, trying to break that mental part. Anyone that works from home kind of runs in the same thing, where change of scenery, it's important, but it's so easy to drop into your other habits.
Yeah, I think that's one benefit of doing a group challenge like this. Like you mentioned earlier, the competition is going to help motivate you because, everybody is, if you're in karting, you're competitive in some shape or form. And two, we're going to have a group chat. We can all communicate. So when somebody has a question, everybody gets that answer to that question, so that, everybody's learning together. And I feel that keeps people connected, keeps people moving forward. It's just a daily reminder of what they need to be doing if they want to get those goals.
And then real quick, can you talk to, before, just because my ADD kicked in,
Yeah.
Can you talk to the app that you're using that Ashely and I had, and then how Kayla, for those, that's my wife, if you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Kayla she didn't like the interface of the app.
Yes.
So then she talked to David about getting her Fitbit integrated with another platform. So do you want to talk to that real quick?
Yeah. So like during this challenge, Jason mentioned that he had some issues with the nutrition aspect. So we've got some different workarounds for doing the nutrition. So there's two main tracks we can go. Is the general, what do we call them? Portion control system. So that's guidelines, and that's calculated for each person based on, their current weight and goals. And essentially just eat the amount of portions of the food types. It gives you plenty of freedom, and it's not such a hard adjustment. Or two, you can do like Jason's wife, and I can give you macro assignments. And because the app interfaces with Fitbits, Apple Watches, Garmin watches, and a few others, you can use that app to input your nutrition information to provide that to me. So there's lots of options there. Otherwise, I provide another third-party app with instructions that you can use to track your nutrition. And you simply just take a picture of what you ate that day, and it's going to track your calories and macros. So both systems work equally well. Just one is a little more intensive and precise, and one is a little better on the fly. So either way is going to work. It just depends on the person. You'll have the option for either one, but we're not going to be using the same one that Jason was having difficulties with. That's the main thing with that.
All right. Any questions for Dr. Jones? Put them in the comments. So we talked about the week, or have we started this list or no?
Yeah. So let's go into really quick with just what's included. So I mentioned earlier that the challenge is going to give equal opportunity to every person to score points. So you're going to have weekly workouts. Those are 3 of them, 3 main workouts that you're going to do each week. You're going to have mobility and recovery workouts. Those are 2 a week. For drivers in particular, we're going to do at least 1 specialized workout that's going to be more based on the needs of drivers. So like neck musculature, or if they want, depending on their level, we can work into the reaction time aspects and coordination. That's going to be in the main workouts for drivers anyway. But you'll have cardio assignments, whether that's walking, running, rowing, whatever it is that you have access to, we'll assign that. You'll have a weekly habit assignment, whether it's regarding sleep or hitting the portion goals with your nutrition, limiting screen time, getting a certain amount of steps a day. Each week, you'll have a habit that you're working on. Of course, accountability. So you'll have the app's checklist. The key there is that you sign into the app and you see what you have or haven't done. And so I have the ability to monitor that. So I do know what you're doing and what you're not doing. So I have an eye on.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Of course, we have tech support. If you have issues, you can always message me. I prefer it be in the group chat, but if it's something private, then of course that's understandable. And we're going to have a group meetup. So we'll do 2 of those a month, and those are going to be Q&A sessions. If you can't make the particular time, you can submit your questions and we'll make sure to answer those and post those in the group so that you get the answers you needed. Of course, we talked about nutritional guidance. So those will be customized. So you'll have either a portion or calorie and macro goal for you to be meeting during your workouts, and or not during your workouts, but during your month. And your job is to try to meet those depending on what nutrition tract that you pick. So our scoring system, we're going to be, do you complete your scheduled workouts, your cardio assignments, and your habits? And to avoid cheaters, I'm giving the most points to if you actually hit your goal. And everybody's goals are going to be a little different. So that might be a strength-based goal. It might be a weight-based goal. With each person, I'll help them pick the proper goal for them that's actually achievable. And that'll reward you the most points. And if you meet your goal, it tells me that you likely are doing those other things. And let's see. We want to go into just what that's going to look like getting started.
Yeah.
So first, you'll sign up and you'll get registered in the app, and you'll complete a questionnaire. It'll tell me a little bit about your health status, where you're at, what you're wanting. And then you can choose whether you're going to be in a gym or at home. And then we're going to have a short consultation. So that's where we're going to discuss your goals and make final decisions. Week 1 of the program is going to be an orientation. So I give, Jason mentioned earlier, it was a lot at first. So I want to give everybody equal chance to get orientated with it and not have to just dive right in and be confused. This is where we can have some questions and answers and just get everybody started equally. Then week 2 to 4, that's when we're going to really kick off, and you'll get additional workouts, and we're going to have we mentioned the 3 workouts a week and the mobility workouts and the habits. That's where that's going to start is week 2. And you'll complete those workouts through week 4. And then week 5 and 8, that's when we advance you a little bit further. So we start building upon what we've done in the first month. At the end of week 8, you'll be recording your results again, and the winners will be announced. As I said earlier, everyone's going to have the equal opportunity to earn points. So won't be any major, how do I put that? Yeah, everyone's going to have
you won't have me saying add more so I can beat Jason.
Exactly.
I don't care. That means I just got to step it up. I like pressure. I like it.
No,
I either do nothing or I do a lot. And that's one of my biggest issues.
And then we could talk about the prizes. Jason, do you want to talk about what prizes you have? First prize, I'm going to be giving 3 months of a customized training plan. So if you've done well in that first 8 weeks, I want to help take you to the next level and get you where you really want to be.
So for sure, from a Norcal Karters standpoint, we are going to do a randomized drawing for.
Okay.
Did I lose you?
No.
Oh, okay. We're going to do a randomized drawing from a Norcal Karters standpoint on. I was thinking it was going to be at least a race entry for a local kart club, $80 value or less, and it's going to be randomized for anyone that enters the challenge. So that way. Dave and I talked about it, where first place really should be performance-based and who killed this thing, and they should get the most value. And then I was thinking, it's like, okay, well, we live in a participation trophy world. Norcal Karters will do the raffle for whoever just enters the challenge. We'll just do a raffle, and like I said, a race entry. And if I have some business owners out there or some, kart industry members that want to join the challenge and add to the prizes, and you think there's a cool one, let us know. And we can bounce it off of David and Ashely and say, hey, XYZ Karting Company wants to add this to the challenge. We're gonna have 8 weeks. So that gives us 8 weeks to collect prizes and make it fun. And again, if you're a private business and you want to add to it, we'll promote it on Norcal Karters as well. So the whole idea is for us to achieve our goals and for fitness and nutrition, but also let's make it fun. It could be a fun journey.
Definitely. I think for anybody that's been on the fence about getting started or they don't know where to start, man, it's perfect. It's a perfect opportunity. Regardless.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring the thing down, the document down. There we go. And then David Jimenez has let's see. He was wondering, what is the app?
It's actually the Motorsports Fitness app. So it's through Trainer Eyes. So that is just the platform that I'm using to put the app out there. Once I upgrade to the higher level, it'll just be Motorsports Fitness app. But at this point, it's still through Trainer Eyes.
And that's part of the reason we're also doing the challenge, is to get more people going through the app and getting us familiar with it. And like I said, I don't want people to think that the app is bad. It's just I've never had a Fitbit. My wife's always had a Fitbit. So it's just something that was new to me. And it's like, when new things I get stuck with, it's like I either am all in or all out. So that's just my personality. Once I worked with it, it was actually pretty straightforward.
Yeah, there's just always a learning curve with these things. And
yeah,
anybody that's nervous about it, I've got 67, 68, 69-year-old people using this app. So it is possible.
Okay. And then earlier you said for the challenge, people need to reach out to you. How do they do that?
Reach out to me through the Instagram. So drdavy.jones, start there.
Okay. So earlier, let's see, IG drdavy.jones.
I'll get it.
Put the dot after the DR.
Are you doing it?
Yep.
Okay.
There we go. And then, so they'll be able to reach out to you. How long do you want to give them? What, 48 hours or 72 hours? That gives us a chance to run the show, run some promos, or do you want to go a little bit longer? Do you want to do a week?
I want at least a week because if I don't think somebody's right for the program, I want to chat with them a little bit first.
Okay.
But there might be those instances, and I want to make sure that anybody that signs up, I'm confident that they should be in there.
Okay. Very cool. And then let's get to the nitty gritty. What are we charging for this thing for 8 weeks?
We're keeping it relatively low cost in the interest of getting testimonials, getting feedback, getting results for people. $150 for the 8 weeks to enter the challenge. So it's affordable for anybody.
Yes.
So again, it's $150 for the 8-week challenge. There is the prize where you can win the 3 months after as well. So there's the first prize is you win the 3 months after, and then participation prize is Norcal Karters is going to be giving away an entry.
Yeah, and you know, I'm pretty confident we'll have more prizes to get in. We have great followers. I mean, just look at all the people that voted for Ashely that she won the challenge. So, and then I mean, my daughter was out at Prairie City this weekend with Girl Scout cookies. I think between the 2 days she sold 60 boxes. So it's like we have a great community that likes to support in ways that they can. So I know more prizes will come in towards the end. And again, if you have an idea for how you want to give the prize away, we have a first place prize for sure. We have a random raffle prize for sure.
And we have 8 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, if you're a tire company and you want to promote your tire and you want to throw in a set of tires, and because your tires last the longest, maybe you can give us tires and we'll give it away to the person that runs the most miles during the challenge. So don't let my EDD get going, but there's just some things like that. I mean, it's not like there's any tire issues going on right now anyway. So I know, Ashely. I wasn't going to do it.
I'm not going to say how the tires are, but yeah, there's tires.
Actually, Extra Car Parts I have like 4 or 5 sets of the old blue tires.
No.
Throw those in.
Okay, so
old, new.
We don't know anything about the tires. Not a legitimate source. Jason is.
No, I have blues in stock. I have them.
I know, but they haven't made a decision on what they're going to use yet. So we're not saying anything.
No, actually, I will clarify. Ashely and I had this conversation this morning. Her and I have been around for a few years. Every 3 or 4 years, this issue comes up around homologation time. And it's just kind of an unfortunate aspect of karting. I got hit with it 3 years ago when I was going to be smart. I went out and bought a couple of sets of MGs towards the end of a racing season. And then locally, everyone switched over to Evenco. I got fucked. Who cares? That's just part of it. So I do get it. It's hit me in the wallet. But every 3 or 4 years, they switch out the tires. So let the suppliers figure it out, and they will do the best they can to do a fair job because it's in their best interest, quite honestly. So with that being said, Josh Velocity. I want in, Dr. Jones.
You got it, man.
You're in.
All right. So
no more Masters.
Norcal Karters Fitness Challenge.
All right. I like, that's my favorite hashtag tonight. No more Masters.
We are restarting and with Motorsports Fitness.
Yep.
For our 8-week challenge. Well, we want to thank you, Dr. Jones, for being here. We want to thank our.
Well, hold on. We need to give David like a full screen so he can give us a sound bite so we can push this out this week.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead.
1 second. There we go. So 30 seconds, David. Motorsports Fitness, what it's about, what we're giving away at the end, how much it costs, and then we're going to push this out on social.
All right. So the Motorsports Fitness Challenge with Norcal Karters. is about taking you from a beginner and getting you into an intermediate zone for your exercise. So if you don't know where to start with exercising, with weight loss, with starting that performance journey, this is the place to start. It's going to be an 8-week challenge total, costs $150 to enter. And the first prize is going to be 90 days of customized training plan with me. So make sure to enter and start hitting those fitness goals.
Perfect.
All right. Come on, NorCal. Let's get fit together. We got lots of people. No more masters over here. I'm going to remind him he said that later, too.
Oh, I will remind him. Trust me.
No more masters, huh?
Yeah.
So, but thank you everyone for joining us. Next week we will be back with upcoming events.
Yeah.
I've been talking to the clubs, so we're getting all their information. We're gonna go through the calendar again, events at Norcal Karters, and we're gonna get ready for the warmer weather. Perfect timing to go outside and take walks and try and beat Jason and I in the Norcal Karters Fitness Challenge. But we will see you next week. If there's, again, like Jason was saying in the beginning, if you're interested in working at any clubs, tell me what club you're closest to. I'll try and figure out what the best fit will be for you. So we have, again, like Jason was saying, corner workers, admin, lots of things are open. So again, reach out to me. Congratulations to what was I saying? Sorry, the comments got me again. But I don't know who I was congratulating. Congratulations to all the winners, I guess.
Did you ever announce who won the challenge?
Oh, we didn't announce who won the challenge. Do you guys want to know who won the challenge?
I do.
David Jones. Who won the challenge?
Oh.
Who lost the most weight?
Ashely.
All right.
Who ran the most miles?
Who logged the most food? Jason.
Jason can be second place. So we will be seeing everyone. And don't forget, sign up for Challenge of the Americas spectator, or if you race this class, any classes, Challenge of the Americas, I expect you to be there representing me.
Actually, since Andy's a sponsor of the show,
Norcal.
When is the pre-registration deadline?
That's a great question. I'm going to say do it by Wednesday because I want all of my NorCal driver. I want to see all my NorCal drivers on the list. Don't wait. Do it by Wednesday. Ashely said Wednesday. So
by Wednesday.
Hurry up. I need all of my NorCal drivers there showing all these guys what's up on your best behavior. We're doing it. Andy's bringing the show to Sonoma. We got this.
And next week we have upcoming events, and then also clubs. We do a recap show as well. So we have upcoming events coming up. We also do past events. So Ashely and I, we're going to work on a better email system to get the information out to the clubs. But if you're a club and you're listening, those shows are for you in order for you to share what you did recently or the upcoming events. But we need the information from the clubs or the promoters. I can send you my hourly rate sheet. Now I will mine the internet for you. I don't mind, but you won't like the invoice. So it's easy enough for the clubs to have that information. Say, hey, we had a club race this past weekend. We had 120 entries. Boom. Like, give us the information. Email it to me or Ashely. So we have content for these recap shows. Otherwise, I'll gloss over the shows and then, quickly hit the sponsors, and then that's the show. So calling out Master VLR guys, especially for what? The challenge.
No,
Josh is calling out the Master VLR guys.
For Challenge of the Americas, Sonoma.
Yeah.
Sonoma.
Actually, they have a great Masters group on, I don't know how they all talk, but Sonoma has a really good Masters group that all talk offline. And I don't know if they're on Discord or WhatsApp or whatever it is, or Telegram. I don't know. But reach out to
somebody tell me where it's at. Somebody tell me where it's at, because all these guys need to be coming to Challenge of the Americas.
Yeah, if Alex Shea is listening, or Dan Rivera, or Dan Jones, if you're listening to the show, in the comments, post how everyone stays in touch. So, yeah. Real quickly, let's look at the last comments. Dr. Jones, will you be at Challenge of the Americas?
Undecided right now. We're planning to do Pro Kart Challenge next week.
Okay.
We're gonna see how the schedule works out, but we're looking at doing it. Yes.
So that means you're running some ICC stuff.
Yeah.
KZ. Sorry, I'm old.
Getting into the KZ now. I like the stock Honda just for turning laps because affordability, but getting into the KZ now. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
KZ is fun.
Well, Dr. Davy Jones, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm looking forward to the second challenge. I know Ashley's looking forward to it. Thank you for your closing words earlier. We'll get that pushed out. So sign up for the challenge, $150 for 8 weeks. It's going to be a group challenge. There's going to be prizes. At bare minimum, there's going to be a raffle general prize from Norcal Karters. Then the big first place prize based on performance is going to be from Dr. Davy Jones of 3 months of one-on-one coaching and training for nutrition and fitness. Anything else you have to say, Ashley?
No. Again, let me know if you guys want to help out at any of the tracks. We'll see you next week. Peace, NorCal.
Josh Veloz, yes.
We
will post a link for the sign up.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you, Davey.
You got it. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Ashley.